Hello and welcome to the Snippets of Leadership podcast. Yes, and. Last time I challenged you to take note of how many times you hear the words yes, but being said around you. And it's a wonderful challenge because it helps you notice how little people actually listen to each other. Yes, but is a polite way to say no. It actually means, sure, I hear the sounds that your voice is making in the form of words, but I'm not really interested in their meaning because all I'm doing is focusing deeply in how I can impose my preformed opinion on you. And how I can have my point of view dominate this conversation. Yes, but it's simply a terrible way to work and communicate. And this is why I think one of the comments that I received about that challenge was that if we really want to foster cooperation and co-creation, we need to focus on yes and instead. So today I thought it would be worth spending a couple of minutes talking about yes and, because I think there are a lot of misconceptions around. The way I've been taught yes and in the very beginning, the first thing I've been told about it was to simply use it literally instead of yes, but. So if there is a conversation between you and a colleague and your colleague is saying, I think that client A is the right one for this project, and you don't agree, your first instinct would be to say something like, yes, but client B has more budget, for example. And instead of saying that, I have literally been told to say the words yes and. So for example, yes, and we should also consider client B. But even back then, it looked like a very clumsy way of communicating, very artificial and very forced. And there is a reason for this. The reason is that yes and is not exactly the opposite of yes but. It's a whole different technique that requires a lot of skill and a lot of focus. So, of course, in a couple of minutes, you cannot do everything, but I thought I would at least mention the basics. Try to look at it in the two words in a separate setting. So let's start with yes. Yes, in the context of yes and, doesn't just mean the word yes. It means agree. Agree with the objective reality that is presented to you. If your colleague says that this project is better for project A, try to not stop at what is being said at face value, but look beyond. What factors are driving your colleague to say that this project is best? What dynamics do you see in your professional environment, in the office maybe, or with the relationship to clients that prompt that person to say that the project is right for client A? Try to dig deeper, challenge your assumptions, and understand where you might be missing some information. Gather as much knowledge as you can and be as objective as you can about it. And use all of that to formulate an answer that is as informed and as constructive as possible. That is the and part of yes and. So going back to the example, if your colleague says that the project is better for client A, your job is to agree. Agree not with the fact that he's right or she's right, the fact that the client would be interested in the project, but agree that with the fact that that is the reality. The reality is that your colleague wants to do this project for client A, and you cannot challenge objective reality for what it is. So might as well use your ability to be aware, use your ability to observe, to listen, to gather as much information as you can. So agree with the whole context of reality, and then formulate an answer that would be educated enough, that would build on the other person's idea in an appropriate and coherent way. It comes with training. It comes with a lot of work. And the best work around yes and comes from the world of improv, which is where yes and has originated. And of course, I owe a lot to the world of improv personally and professionally. And there is, as I said, a lot more to this than just these two words. But the comment that was given to me on the previous video, when I talked about yes, but, triggered me to think that not everyone has a full enough understanding of what yes and really means. And of course, it's simpler to stop at face value. It's simpler to stop at those two words, the way they're formulated. Of course, by the way, I don't know if this was the intention of the person that made the comment. Let's not make assumptions. But I thought that just to be sure, it would be worth to clarify, at least a bit. What do you think? Have you ever thought about yes and in this way? Do you have any feedback about this? Let me know in the comments personally or answer me directly. I am reachable by LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. I'm technological. Thank you, stay safe, and have a good day. Talk soon. Thank you for listening. My name is Edoardo Binda Zane from EBZ Coaching. I'm a leadership and communication trainer and consultant. And if you have any questions about what you've heard in this episode, please reach out to me via LinkedIn, Facebook, or my website. I'll be answering the most interesting questions on the show. And if you know someone that will benefit from this type of content, please make sure you recommend this podcast to them. Thank you, and see you next time.